phones. We all have them. We can't live without them. But are these pocket-sized devices innocently connecting us, or are they quietly derailing the next generation's potential right under our noses? Whether you're a parent, teacher, or student, you won't want to miss our deep dive into the startling statistics, the firsthand stories, and the urgent questions every educator is facing. In this episode, we'll explore whether our digital habits are hijacking learning and what we can do to reclaim focus in the classroom.
If ever your life could be a true crime podcast episode, then this podcast is for you. We're about to embark on a roller coaster of emotions, insights, survival, and stories about escape. So buckle up and let the journey begin.
Welcome back to the EscapePod, everybody. Traumedy podcast about escaping all the things with proceeds going to One Heart, where we help people escape the crisis of poverty and addiction and trauma and debt and all the things holding them back in life. I'm Charity.
I'm KB.
Hi.
And today we have a guest.
Yeah.
Charity's Tim.
Lieutenant Dan.
Yes.
Lieutenant Tim Doyle.
Hi.
Hi. Well, we had the One Heart second annual soiree, and someone came as Lieutenant Dan in the wheelchair. It was the best.
I saw the picture. It was really fantastic.
It was fantastic. In fact, that gentleman we're going to have on the podcast end of the month.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. He has a podcast called Sober City, so we're going to be meeting him. Guy is a riot. Really good time. So anyway, Lieutenant Tim Doyle, actually.
Yes. Welcome.
My husband. Some of you escape artists know him. You've met him before from previous episodes. But you may not know that he spent 7 years as a school resource officer in the Rapid City area schools, and he has a lot of stories and experience with today's topic. So before we get rolling, what are you escaping, KB?
Just everything kind of, today's been one of those days so far where everything's kind of going a little bit kittywampus. And I even struggled to open the door as we were coming in here today. It's just a simple key, turn the knob, enter. Like I wasn't making that happen. So, and if you guys could have seen me trying to set up Tim's microphone and whatnot, it was also just a complete kerfuffle. So that's what I'm escaping today.
If you could have been in the escape pod with us when all of this was happening, we had a lot of song and dance going.
Yep.
The top two were, is it?
Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, Limp Bizkit's Break Stuff. Just one of those days. It's been one of those days. And then, who sings Timber?
Oh,
It's going down.
it's like starts with a K, doesn't it? Keisha.
Oh, Kesha.
Kesha.
Yeah. Is
Well,
this
and your favorite.
Pitbull?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you escaping today?
Well, let's go to Tim first.
Okay, Tim.
He now has this down since.
I still had to just pull something
Okay.
out.
We'll pull it.
Stupid people? Can I say stupid people?
You can say stupid people.
I don't know if there's any escaping stupid people. More specifically, people who should be working together and trying to help all of our issues we have, and instead all they can do is point fingers and blame other people and then not produce themselves. So that's what I'm escaping.
We've been having some of that lately
like
too.
those people.
Yeah. It's the lack of accountability,
Yeah.
on their own part. So
Egos.
yeah.
Egos are fun.
Yeah, they are.
Really fun. No. So what I'm escaping. So listen.
Listen, Linda.
Listen, Linda. Okay. So when you go to a Broadway show and the dancers all have like the best legs on the planet, right? Or you see Beyonce in concert and like flawless legs. I don't know what possessed me, but I Googled it one day, like, what are they doing? Mm-hmm. And so I got the trick. So there's a special type of tight. So you get these like shimmery tights, and then you put the fishnets over them, the dance fishnets. Okay. So you double layer the cellulite, and it just makes your legs look fantastic. Yeah. So I had this cute little leather skirt on, like
I saw
shorter
yesterday
than
in our
I
little
normally
Zoom.
wear, and I'm like, look at these legs. Well, here's what they don't tell you, and now I don't know how these women dancers like do this, because by the end of the day, my toes were so freaking pinched, and I'm having to do tours. I had to do a speech. I had to do orientation, so I'm on my feet. And normally, they get tight. Tights get tight on your toes.
They do.
You pull them off. You loosen them up on the toes. It feels fine. This was so painful. And I have I'm meeting with someone after work and I'm sitting at, the bar and I'm just like,
You're like, can I take them off right here? Would that be
my
okay?
toes hurt. They just hurt. And I'm driving home and I could not get home fast enough. I'm like, these freaking things hurt. I didn't see him because he was out of town. I just walked in the house. I'm like, I'll be back. I gotta go take these off. And then I was literally having pains until I fell asleep.
Oh, no.
Weirdest thing. So, hey, major props to Broadway dancers. I don't know how our performers, my Lord, but my legs looked great.
I've been wearing them too. I didn't have any problems. In fact, I'm wearing them right now.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just your toes. Maybe it's just you.
Can't you cut the toes out of them?
You know what? I think
Make little holes.
I think
for
we're going to
each toe.
find some kind of secret about Tim at some point here because listen,
The leather pants.
the leather pants.
Yep.
You put him in leather pants and he loses his freaking mind. So last year, hairball, for those of you that don't know what hairball is,
It's fantastic.
80s hair band, tribute concert. It's a whole great thing. We love it. Went last year for the first time. I gave him a pair last minute of my express pleather or whatever, not real leather, right? And he ate it up. He was the highlight of Deadwood, showing everybody his butt in his leather pants. Well, so then this year,
For good reason.
For the soiree, I didn't announce this yet, but we probably should put pictures up. Kate has them, by the way.
They are on One Heart's Facebook.
Oh,
page.
are they?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
We
they're up
did
this morning.
Neo and Trinity from The Matrix. So we had, I had all the wet leather. He had all the leather. So I got him real big boy, actual
leather pants.
Men's pants.
leather pants, which are very nice. And yeah, I mean, I couldn't tell you how many times at the soiree I'm like, you need to settle it down. I mean,
If it wasn't the pants, it would have been something else, though.
yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's a party.
Well, it was a party, but we had a very precious, unexpected little young person at our table.
Oh.
Yeah, one of our guests attendees brought her daughter. I think was she 11 or 12? 11. The sweetest, cutest, most adorable little thing, and he's just. Her mom's like, "No, it's okay, it's fine." I'm like, "It's not fine."
You're about to muzzle
I'm
him.
the freaking CEO of this company, and this is my husband. No, it was a really good time though.
Good.
So.
Are you looking for an early morning boost or that midday pick-me-up? Check out the Homebrew Coffee Shop, a coffee shop with a cause on the One Heart campus. At Homebrew, you'll find hope for a home in every cup. It's home to delicious coffee, sweet treats, breakfast, and lunch items. It's a great place to meet friends or host small group meetings. Homebrew is located at 201 Kansas City Street in Rapid City. Open Monday through Friday from 6:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. We'll see you there.
It's been a lot.
All right. Well, here we
And
go.
I imagine teachers are going through all of this chaos, but think about it, like trying to teach biology, whatever you're trying to get someone excited about, but instead of curious faces, you've got, people are looking down. Or, even scarier when you see them driving like that.
Oh, that is
like,
the worst.
oh my God, please eyes up. But, this is happening. The classes, these kids are more interested in their screens than in their lesson. Obviously, it's addicting, right?
It is.
So school's never going to be addicting for most people. So we'll start with some stats, and then we'll bat it over to Tim to delve into what you saw when you were in the schools and where those problems actually lie. But according to the most recent data from Pew Research Center, a staggering 97% of students ages 11 to 17 are using their phones during the school day. And that's just not pulling it out occasionally. We're talking about daily in-school phone use ranging up to 6.5 hours. So 6.5 hours. I mean, some kids are really depriving themselves of that. And, we've already talked about algorithmic hijacking and the thing. Like, these devices are not designed to let me reframe that. They're designed to keep you coming back for more.
Yeah.
Also look at the prices of what cell phones have done, right?
Oh my gosh.
And that, used to be a few $100. Now it's
Like
thousands
$1,000.
of dollars, right? It's insane. But here's where the stats get really concerning. 72% of high school teachers, a third of middle school teachers, and 6% of elementary school teachers say that students being distracted by their cell phones in the classroom has become a major problem. And so think about that. We're seeing kids as young as 5 and 6 year olds that are already distractible now being distracted by cell phones. And you think of the things that are accessible. You know, Tim and I used to volunteer in our son's classroom. We stayed in touch with some teachers over the years. And when the smartphones began getting in the hands of these young kids, like first and second graders, they're finding pornography and things on the playground. Like, look, oh my God, what are these people doing? You know, it's just not okay.
No, it's not okay. It's scary. And that's where what was Holly Strand.
Yeah.
When she came in, and it was you and Julie at the time, because that was season 1. And I just remember listening to that in the editing seat going, oh my goodness. Like, you know that we have to be watchful of our kids at all ages, I think, and try and keep a good eye. And there's some apps and there's some things you can install. But kids being left alone to their own devices, literally their own devices, is so dangerous. And these criminals, these creeps, they have their weird ways of getting in. And I don't know, those are scary stories. Yeah. So, yeah, it's disturbing.
So when I was in the school, it wasn't a huge problem yet, but it was kind of getting to be there. And every year you would kind of see the school relax the policy a little bit more. And because, you know, I think initially they couldn't have their phones out at all.
Right.
And if they got caught with their phone out, the school in the policy, which everyone signed, all the students, all parents, they all
Student
signed
handbook.
it.
Oh, yeah.
They could take the phone for the day, and then it ramped up second, third offense, and they could keep it for the rest of the week, like whatever it was. And it seems to me like the reason that school districts are probably most hesitant to not only make it more restrictive, but they keep going the other way is because of the parents. It's not the kids. The parents lose their mind when their kid doesn't have their phone on them. Like, how am I going to get a hold of my kid? Like, I don't know. Call the office. We know where your kid is. If they are where they should be, we can get your kid an emergency, you know, in the case of an emergency. And I think since I left the school, it's only gotten more relaxed. Like, it used to be just at lunch. And now and then I think, okay, in the hallway between classes, you can do it. And I think now it's just whenever they want it. And the more you relax it, the more they're going to abuse it. And, you know, even if you have it okay the whole rest of the school day, but not in class, they're still going to abuse it in class. You're setting the precedent that using your phone in school is okay.
Yeah.
And there's nothing good. So an example of how I've seen restrictions be a good thing is there was a camp that we used to do called Camp Postcard, and it was police officers and VOA, and it was fifth and sixth graders, and we'd get them out into the hills for a week. We stayed there. They were fed there, so they were completely checked out for a week. And one of the rules was no cell phones. And a little grumbling the first day because even at that age they're kind of used to it. But we kept them busy. They're outside. They're doing stuff. They're learning things. I never heard a kid complain about not having their phone because they were busy doing other things, like healthy things.
Yeah.
So I think if a district were to make that change, and if it were me, I'd say no phones.
I agree with you.
I mean, I get it. You know, if you need to communicate after school to your parent or whoever, fine. But it goes into your locker, and you do not have your phone on you, period. It's in your locker. That would be my policy. And, you know, another thing we saw is a lot of the drama that we experienced, whether it was a fight or, you know, the bullying and everything else, most of it now is over the social media and the cell phones, not even to mention, you know, the big thing of now these kids are maybe sometimes innocently passing around these posts that are basically a school threat. And I mean, I had to go knock on a parent's door at 1 a.m. and wake them up and show them what their kid had sent out. You know, and some of these kids, are they a danger? Probably, but most of them, it's an innocent thing, but you still have to investigate
Absolutely.
So, yeah, it's, to me, this is kind of a no-brainer. The best thing for these kids, and from the data you're sharing, the teachers too,
Yeah.
is we should just completely cut it off, not just for the distraction, but just the mental health for them of that whole day, being away from that and having, because part of school is not just the class, it's learning to interact with
Yeah.
kids your age, different people, different socioeconomic
Right. Yeah.
or
Social
whatever.
acclimation. Yeah.
They're not getting that because they're buried in their phone all
Absolutely.
day long.
They're chained to them. I know my 14-year-old at their school, they are not allowed to have them in the classrooms, which is good. However, they do have them at lunch and during their breaks. And Anna always talks about how she wishes the phones were banned, because she sits there at lunchtime and everybody is just, they're not even talking to each other. And so when she's trying to engage in conversation, everyone's just like, yeah, quick answers, really not even listening, or she can tell. And they're just busy on their phones looking at stuff that doesn't mean anything. And it's every day. And so they're not communicating at all. And it's just socially awkward. And so how is that going to affect them going forward? These kids need to learn how to socialize
I'm
together away from their
curious.
phones.
I didn't look it up, but I'd be interested in seeing, like, you know how you get every year those reports come out that show how all these other countries are outperforming the United States academically. I wonder what their policies are.
Yeah.
Like, do they have cell phones in the
I bet they don't.
classrooms? This there was a study done. Students who don't have their phones with them during class are scoring 13 to 20% higher on exams compared to the students that do have their phones on them. And that could literally mean the difference between getting into college or not.
Mm-hmm.
So the future doesn't look that great.
Well, and I think about retention, you know, and when you're learning something new, if it only has half of your attention, whatever it is that you're learning, whether you're in school or you're somewhere else, you're not going to retain it. And so, yeah, test scores are going to be affected. And even your future. I mean, we're in school, whether it's, you know, K through 12 or college age, we're in school for a reason, right? And you're there to learn. And so when you're not learning because you're engaging in other things and you're letting your mind be consumed with stuff that really doesn't matter, or using AI, because then that's the other thing that's a concern, is how many kids, even at home then, are using AI to do their homework for them. So they're missing out on really important learning, which is concerning to me. Like, we're dumbing ourselves down, man. And it's like, what does our future hold if we don't use our brains?
We'll just be food for aliens or something.
I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we could do that.
I don't really want to be that.
Well, I don't really want to be that either,
I
but
think we're getting to the point we'd be rejected
Probably.
as food for the aliens.
That's right.
Move on to the next planet.
Yeah, something better.
I mean, okay. Wow. I don't know. And then I think about how, like, even just in our community, you know, we have every year people decrying the school district for the abysmal test results. Mm-hmm. Yet, these same taxpayers and parents are sending their children to school with these phones and not putting those restrictions. The school has to do it. I mean, they just have to do it.
Well, and I think, too, there's a few kids that I've seen that have just the original, like, flip phone. What's wrong with that? That's a great way to communicate with your kid.
Hey, that's like your mom.
Yeah, they're not, you know what I mean? Yeah. Then they're not scrolling. And guess what? I bet you they'll be able to sit down at the lunch table, even if their phone's there. But since it's a flip phone, they're not going to be as tempted they're not scrolling.
Right.
So it's not mind numbing for them. They're going to be able to hold regular conversation.
Well, to me, it seems like we have a lot of leadership, and I'm not just talking about Rapid, but all over, that just wants to kind of make the easy decision that's just going to make people go away and not bother them. But, I mean, you'd have a hard time convincing me that there's any benefit to the kids having those phones. Again, school-wise, mental health-wise, they can have it in their lockers, so if they need something after school, they can still communicate. But do the tough thing and do what we all know is best. And you know, this is the the teachers are already struggling dealing with the behavior as it is, and now you're adding to it the distraction from the phone, and the phone's also contributing to poor
drama.
behavior. And, you know, we struggle to find teachers and keep teachers and pay teachers, so we need to keep the ones that we have. And we need to, if this is going to make it easier on them and help them do their job better, I think we need to do that.
Absolutely.
And, you know, a lot of people might not care about this, like they, you know, same with the school bond. Well, I don't care. I don't have kids in school. What do I care? Well, you know, if we don't have strong schools, in fact, I just came from lunch with somebody who works for a major employer in our city, and they have a 9-month-old, and he is watching what happens with our school district and how we handle things. And if we don't start doing better,
Out of here.
they're out.
Yeah.
Talent leaves, yeah.
So, I mean, you know, our major employers, you know, the biggest one to bring up is the hospital. Like, okay, you don't have kids in school, but if you want good doctors to come to Rapid City, you don't think that they're going to look at what the schools are like?
Oh, absolutely.
And what effect does us having old, outdated schools that are falling apart on this? Like,
Well, I
it
mean,
affects everybody.
We were talking like about, you know, your mom's situation with neuropsych. Like there's a severe shortage of neuropsychologists here to assess like dementia, Alzheimer's, things like that. And so the waits are long. You try to get somebody in and it's months and months and months. Even like this eye thing I was telling you about, you know, called, I thought my eye was going to explode. And it's like, oh, we can see you in December. I'm like, the hell? December? Like I might have one eye by then, you know what I mean? But it's just, this is growing so fast, but you're absolutely right. If like that school, it's like part of that foundation to a community.
Absolutely.
And we just don't give a crap. So how do we put pressure on the school board or school administrators to like do the freaking right thing? Because, you know, it's much easier to do it there than it is to expect every parent in every demographic that is utilizing the school district to implement structure like this.
Well, and that's where I wonder do they not see it as a problem? I mean, I would think that they do.
No, they see it as a problem.
But
they
so-
know it's a problem.
Yeah.
But I think the people who are making these decisions are those administrators who are not directly in the classroom. They're not listening to the teachers, let's be real. They're just not.
Yeah, but the grades, and I think we talked about this too, you know, the testing scores. So they have to do all these NWE testing and whatnot to see where the kids are at, and that matters to the school districts. And I just kind of wonder then, like, if those are not, if it's not performing well, it's not showing good performance, are they not looking at that going, how can we do better? And then maybe this has to do with the cell phones. Maybe we should change something a little bit.
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't had kids in the school district for a long time, but I think for those special tests, the assessments, they don't get to have access to their phone. But by then it's too late because you've allowed it in the classrooms on a daily basis. It doesn't really matter what you do at that point then.
Well, and another thing that you
Damage has
hear,
been done.
you hear people aiming at law enforcement and the schools is the school to prison pipeline. And the basis for that is the school suspends someone out, and there is data to show that when a kid is suspended out, they're missing school, they're more likely to miss more school, and if they drop out, the likelihood of that kid entering the criminal justice system is much, much higher. And we know that. Like, if you look at the jails and the prisons, like, there's not a lot of college graduates or even high school graduates in there. So we know staying in school and education is important. And the kids are doing things on these phones that is causing them to leading to a suspension. So it's not only the academic, but, you know, it's also the behavioral, and not just drama, but this is leading to fights and assaults and other things that is getting kids expelled from school. And that's just one more reason tagged on top of this to stop this and to step in and just say, you know what, this might be tough for some, but we're going to do this. And I have a feeling once you did it,
Game changer.
the world isn't going to end.
No.
And you know, another thing that gets brought up is, well, if there's a school shooting or something happens in the school, you know, the kids don't have the phone, whatever. Well, teacher has a phone, and the last thing you want if there's some incident in a school is 1,000 kids at once, all trying to call home or call whatever. It bogs down the system and it just screws things up. And I think the overall benefit that you would get from this completely makes that argument obsolete. Like this, what if this 1 in a trillion thing happens in my school? Like it's an excuse for people not to want to give up this thing that we're just so attached to.
Yeah. It's just
Well, let's talk about mental health too, because I mean, academic issues, behavioral issues, this is bad enough, but the mental health side of things might even be a little scarier. Obviously, we have a shortage of mental health support in almost every community in our country, but recent studies show that teens who get stuck in this smartphone cycle are twice as likely, and anxiety is already high, right, to deal with anxiety, and almost 3 times as likely to face depression compared to their peers who are keeping their phone use in check. Researchers at Columbia University's Department of Psychiatry have been watching these trends, and they say it's absolutely true. Too much screen time is going hand in hand with less sleep, more stress, and higher rates of depression. And of course, teenagers are still trying to figure out, themselves as they're transitioning into adulthood, and it just exacerbates. But the thing is it's not just causing the mental health problems. It's often what they're reaching for when they're feeling depressed. So it's like you're continuing to poison yourself with the thing that's causing. So I don't know how to get out of that.
Well, it's a vicious cycle, and I think that there's even plenty of adults that have the same issues. But I think that it definitely. I mean, it's something that's really addictive. And the amount of time that these kids are spending there and how fast they're scrolling through things and their brains are trying to digest all of this stuff. And a lot of it's useless. But I feel like there is something. I think it does something to our brains. Our brains weren't designed.
Or fake. I mean,
it wasn't
AI posts.
There's so much AI. And I mean, even my husband, sometimes he'll be like, oh my gosh, look at this. And I'm like, I have a pretty good discernment there. And I can usually tell like immediately that that's AI. But even in that, I'm like, some of this stuff is really good. And some of these young kids, like how many people across the board are looking at some of this AI stuff going, oh, this is real. Then that scares the crap out of me too. But yeah, the mental health crisis when it comes to phones and phone time is, it's really unfortunate and it's very scary.
I also think about that multitasking concept. Remember when it was like a hot button item, like you're looking for a job, like, are you a good multitasker?
Oh, yes. You've heard me vent on that numerous times.
Like, and I feel often at work, just by virtue of being in the nonprofit space with all of its challenges, I sometimes feel like I'm in a Star Wars movie and I buckle into my fighter pilot seat and it's just like, stuff flying at my head all day. And it's just constant. And I am just finding as the months and years draw on, like that, I think my brain is breaking. And so when you think about, you've got that device in your hand and there's so much going on. There's all these different apps. There's, you're keeping in touch on things, or you're keeping, checking on scores or like whatever, music, your favorite artist, whatever. And it's just constant. And like that scrolling, you can't process it. So I just feel like pretty soon, we're just all going to short circuit. And I mean, I'm feeling like it all the time.
Well, and then there's the fear of missing out too. I think that, with all the mind numbing stuff that they get served on whatever platform that they're on, but they use it for their mental health too. Like they're on Snapchat and they can see that these friends are over here together when they said they were going to be going. Like there's so many things that backfire with it. And it's kind of one of those things where I say we're so overly connected and overwhelmed with this, connection, but it's false connection because we're not really connected. No. And it goes back to like these kids trying to socialize. They don't socialize well with each other. And I worry, what does our future hold then? Because these are our up and coming kids. How are they going to get through college? How are they going to get jobs? How are they going to function? Like when they don't their phone's going to have to do everything for them.
Yeah, forget multitasking. Can you do one thing and I'll hire you?
Yeah. No, but it's where it's going.
I know the first time AI got me was, it's a Gary Busey video interviewing, like he's talking about buttered sausage. And it's just so off the wall, but it's totally Gary Busey.
Yeah.
And I sent it to my kids, and I think one of them said, "Oh, that's not real. It's AI." I'm like, "All right, I'm not believing anything anymore."
Yep.
And it's like it's almost one extreme or the other. Like people see something, and it can be obviously totally fake, and they're going to believe it because it's, I mean, because it fits their worldview, and that's what we do is we seek those confirmation bias. Or you just get to the point where you just don't believe anything. And I think that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I just watched that. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's real, but I don't believe it.
Yep.
And I don't think either one of those is healthy.
Well, I'll tell you, after our episode on algorithmic hijacking and doing that research, I'm really not doing much on my phone. I will do my obligatory get on and do our like our One Heart and Homebrew and EscapePod and Focus Posts. So that's all I see now. If I open Facebook or anything, it's just One Heart related stuff. That's all I see.
Yeah, but even in that, don't you feel like you're feeding the beast sometimes? Like, that's how I feel. Like, it's just like, okay, we got to get in here and we're constantly, like, gotta do all the likes. And then sometimes I look at it and I'm like, okay, well, it's just the same few of us that are liking certain things, you know? But it's like this push. We got to put stuff out. We got to put it out. We got to keep posting, right? Trying to keep up with the algorithms, trying to keep up with, I don't even know anymore, but it's hard. And it's like you're constantly fighting for that attention. And then I think too, how many kids for the while, and I don't know if it's still like this, but for a while there, you would ask a bunch of teens, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they would be like, I want to be an influencer. I want to be a YouTuber.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And
that doesn't sustain society.
no.
And this, I mean, that's another concern I have is everyone wants to do these things that if that's what everyone wants to do, like we still need people building things and putting in the infrastructure to support all this, and no one wants to do those difficult jobs. And I'm sorry, when you're going to sit in there influencing people, like if there's not if you don't have Wi-Fi or whatever, like you can't do it. Eventually everything just falls apart.
Yep. Well, and that's true. I mean, it's like the dirty jobs of the world, if you will. Somebody's got to do them, you know. And when I say that, they're not all dirty, but yeah, we got to have people still building things.
I don't know if we
using their hands, using their brains.
Teachers and not getting that under control. I mean, we interviewed someone for a position here just within the last 2 weeks that had left teaching, loved teaching children, but just couldn't do it anymore. And they're just expected to do so much, and they're not getting that support, that real support, meaningful support.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, we ask a lot of the schools, and you know, the parents, a lot of them also on their phone all night, so they're not interacting with their kids. Their kids are coming into school not able to read, so they're already behind. And the adults aren't emotionally available either. And the schools suffer for it, and they would get mad when the school can't fix our kid and fix all these issues that we're sending into the school every day. And it's not fair.
Yeah.
And it's not realistic. And the families need to get their shit together.
They do. Well, and I've gotten a lot better about it over the last few years because I've just been more intentional with my time on my phone. You know, but I do have that sweet time with my girls, and I appreciate it. It's wonderful, and they need that. They desperately need our attention. But there were times in the past, years ago, when I kind of acknowledged it, where I'd be on my phone just as like a time waster, if you will, at night, and it would be like, "Hey, Mom, can you whatever," and I'd find myself irritated, and it's like nothing on my phone. It's not like I was reading something.
Yeah.
And that was the difference. It was just time wasting, stupid, like maybe it was reels or who knows what I was looking at. But the irritation that would come with like, how dare you bother me when I have my phone in my face type of deal. And as soon as I recognized that in myself, I was like, ugh, no. I mean, it was just like phone drop, like absolutely not. Because if I'm reading a book, guess what? If my kids are like, hey, Mom, I don't have that same response.
Yeah.
Even if it's like a really good, engaging book, I'm not irritated.
Yeah.
And so I I know that I saw that. I know that I see that from time to time when my husband's on his phone and he gets interrupted even by me. And so I wonder, again, going back to that mental health at all ages, I just feel like people have got to put more intention behind when they're using their phones.
There are those studies that show that it's the dopamine hits. And so we're like over stimulating our dopamine receptors in our brain, and it's that social media scroll. And that's why we need more and more and more. I'll actually tell our guests during orientation when I go through chemicals like dopamine and talk about, like, if the first thing you're reaching for in the morning is your phone to get on social media, you are probably addicted. And yesterday was orientation, and there were a couple of people that looked at each other like,
Oh,
I'm like, it's okay though. You know, you can, once you're aware of it and this is what's happening, you can do something about it.
Well, and how many of the kids are posting something and then now they can't sleep because they're like, all right, how many people have liked it?
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not, when I started posting stuff on my professional Facebook page that's maybe a little bold, I guess we'll say, and I'm not very, I'm spacing it out, like I'm doing one a week or every other week, and like I just do it, and then I am getting on there and commenting, but I only have access to that at work. So if there's any comments between the workday, it's like whatever. I don't see it.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, 92% of educators are dealing with smartphone-related disruptions daily in their classrooms. And so some states have taken a policy type of response at the state level because the schools just weren't doing it. So as of September 2024, 27 states have addressed the issue. 6 of them have implemented policies or pilot studies. 14 have introduced statewide legislation, and several others are considering similar measures. And some of those types of solutions are like, what do they call it? I'm trying to find it. Like doing zones where you can't have the phones and
like cell-free.
Creating phone-free zones, things like that.
Weird. We used to do that with smoking that we knew caused cancer.
Yeah, right.
Well, just wait. That's probably coming out soon, too. Cell phones cause cancer.
Oh, well, they've already been saying that. Like, there is
Right.
stuff out there that says that. Yep. Like some women who, I don't know why you would do this, but like there were women who were like storing their
In their bra?
bra.
Oh, yeah. I know people who do that.
You know, because they're running around with no pockets.
Yeah.
So
There's
it's
some
like,
that keep everything in there.
yes, they're.
We run into that a lot. They keep their drugs in there
Oh.
because we can't go in there and get it.
Oh no.
Um,
Hang them upside down. Drop it all out.
Speaking of funny stories from the school,
okay.
there was one kid who his mom actually told us that he was bringing his weed to school in like a jockstrap.
Oh jeez.
And so his mom is telling us this. He's like, he's getting away with it, and you guys aren't catching it. And we're like,
Well, we don't check jock straps.
what? Yeah.
Hey, my goodness.
So the short story is, we weren't going to search this kid. We were pretty sure one day that he had something on him. So I told our liaison, call his mom and tell him we're going to have his mom come in and go in and get it.
Oh.
And that literally happened. He thought we were bluffing.
He'll never
Like,
forget that.
Like, we're not going in there. That's an invasive search, which we're not going to do, but nothing saying mom can't do it. And she did. She found it.
Go, Mom.
That's awesome.
Go, Mom. Wow. Well, these cell phones aren't going anywhere anytime soon, forever and ever, until some aliens do an EMF bomb and like kill all of our technology. But I came across something that I thought was super interesting. There are arguments for cell phones in the schools. So I'm going to throw some of these out and see what you two think. So you've already touched on one of them. The top one was student safety. Given the ongoing issue of gun violence in our schools, having access to cell phones to offer them that sense of reassurance and some type of control while waiting for law enforcement or safety to come is just that peace of mind.
Right.
So
What is actually going to happen is it's not accurate information that's going to go out. it's inaccurate information that's going to go out, and that's going to spread, and that's going to make the job of the responders even harder.
That's a really good point.
So they can take that and shove it up somewhere.
Okay. The second one was having learning tools at their students' fingertips. So some teachers are just like, I can't beat them, I'm going to join them. So they're using the phones for interactive school lessons. In fact, over 7 out of 10 educators have brought smartphone apps into their teaching for stuff like quick quizzes and personalized assignments. And that means students get to tap into all of these learning management systems or group projects, and even augmented reality apps that make these lessons come to life. So they're trying to like get them where they're at. And for students who learn differently, sometimes those phone-based tools can actually be really big game changers for them. So what do you think about that?
Dude, have something supplemental, but they have computers and iPads or whatever in the classroom that they could probably do the same thing on. But you could have, at least on that, you can have limited access to, so they can't get to social media. Or give them a phone that only has that app on it and doesn't have their social media or any way to communicate outside of that. There's ways around it.
Yeah.
But I mean, the what you would gain out of that, again, is not worth the issues this is causing.
Yeah. I think that, and this is just coming from me, what I would think, and then also listening to the kids talk, their favorite, because they do computer work, and they do have some cool stuff that they offer and whatnot, but it's the hands-on. Like, when they get super jazzed about, like, oh my gosh, it was so cool today, Mom, I got to tell you about what we did. It's the hands-on learning, like actual experiments, things that have
That are
nothing
not virtual.
that are nothing virtual.
Yeah.
It is where they are using their brains. They're using their brains to be creative, logical thinking, strategic thinking, whatever. But they thrive. Yes, they love that. And so, yeah, I don't know. I think that's a dangerous place to go. Yeah.
Well, then I think you're really going to like this last one. Ready? Developing self-discipline. So some of these advocates of keeping cell phones in the classroom are arguing that banning phones is going to cut down on distractions, but it's also going to mean that we have now taken the chance to actually teach students how to use technology responsibly. We're taking that away. So if we do that, they don't get to learn how to self-regulate or
I guess,
learn responsible self-control muscles in this space.
So can you train a drug addict to use drugs responsibly?
Ouch.
Do you know what I'm saying, though?
Mic
I
drop,
feel
yeah.
like it's...
We should not arrest people for DUI to give the alcoholics a chance to not drive drunk.
Right. I mean, I feel like that
was good.
That is not somebody who works in a classroom.
Probably not.
That's someone who probably doesn't have control in their own house.
Yeah.
Fair point.
Yeah. I mean, again, these are people coming up with excuses to try to not make this hard decision.
And you think it's just the parents? Like we don't want to incur the wrath of the parents.
I mean, I think the kids would resist it too, but I think the main sticking point for these districts not doing it is probably the backlash from the parents.
Do you think it's the administrators? Do you think it's the school boards? I
mean, it's probably different no matter where you go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. It's a good question, but...
Well, and when you say the parents, I think, and I know we were talking about this previously, but so often parents who have been brought up with technology, now we're seeing that it's they're giving their little children, 2, 3 years old, iPads, phones, and it's being used as a babysitter essentially. And so these kids are getting brought up, and so it's a crutch for the parents as well.
Digital crack.
Yeah. So when you take their babysitter away, and you're telling them, you need to interact with your children. You need to give them attention. Put your phone down, take their devices away, actually engage and parent.
Well,
they don't want to do that.
I think I've shared this with you already, but we love going to Breckenridge, and we go there in the summer, to hike and, enjoy the downtown. And the last time we were there, there was a young couple with their 2 kids in a stroller, and they were pretty young, and they're in this beautiful spot, and both the kids were buried in a phone.
Why?
What'd you do in Breckenridge? Drooled. I mean,
I know, but that's where I feel like I wonder sometimes if these are the parents that are, arguing, the ones where it's like they just as much have a problem, and you can mask it into, oh, but I need to get a hold of my kids. I need to know where they're at all times for these.
You're not even
crazy
talking to your kid when they're at
what
home.
ifs. Exactly. So it's like, what do you? And probably half the time they don't even know where their kids are. No, it's time to. I mean, somebody's got to crack down, and if the parents aren't going to do it, by golly, these schools need to do it for our future.
So this person
we'll see
saying,
what happens.
losing the opportunity to self-regulate. If the parents aren't even regulating the kids, now you're going to expect the kids to do it.
Right.
Is that what we're saying?
I think it's a cop-out.
It's a cop-out.
Definitely is.
Are you ready to re-enter the workforce or find a career that actually fits? Or maybe you're an employer tired of noisy platforms that miss the mark? Try Focus, a smarter hiring tool that helps you cut through the noise and focus on what matters. Visit focus.work today. That's FOQUS.WORK.
Well, we'll ask you first, and so we'll go ahead and wrap it up. What are you escaping to after this?
Escaping to?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot you asked this question. I don't know. What are we doing this weekend? Oh, I have to work a protest. That's not really escaping to something.
No.
How about a Sunday of not doing anything?
I like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's my answer.
Okay.
I like it.
How about you?
It's homecoming week and weekend. So, and we live in a tiny town, so it's like all hands on deck. But yeah, so homecoming is going to be kind of our escape. And then Sunday, we don't have anything, and I'm welcoming that too, because we're all going to need it. Because we have been every single morning this week up early for events and up late for events. And so, yeah, Sunday to just do nothing is going to be amazing. A day of rest. I always tell Charity too, I'm like, you cannot run if you cannot rest. So
I'm still figuring that one out. I am
what are you
running by
escaping?
virtue of necessity. I've shared with you a little bit, like, we've had a lot of illness lately on staff. We've had some staffing changes. So it's crazy. And I'm still trying to do like my actual job. So when I think about escaping, this is the thing that's lighting me up right now, even though it's exhausting and I can't wait for this weekend. It's a 3-day weekend, 3.5 because I'm taking Friday too. And I only have like a webinar that I have to commit to. But I got to do a tour with one of our new employees last week and had this realization that for whatever reason, I tour almost all of the new employees in this building, but not across the campus. So life safety or buildings and grounds. And I just went, oh my gosh, they're missing out on so much of like what this model is about, why it works so well. And just because of some things that have happened lately, I really wanted to imprint this mission on them so that it becomes more bigger. They're part of something bigger than just their BFF that they work with. And then if BFF leaves, they want to leave too, and it's like, it's just, we've seen some real immaturity in certain people. Someone really, like, you've got to do something pretty stupid to get fired from One Heart.
Yeah.
Like you're compromising the integrity of the program. You're compromising someone's safety. You're just doing something really beetle-headed. And if it's just not correctable, it's like, all right, it's time to go.
Yeah.
And, occasionally we'll have, oh, well, I'm going to go too. Just, it's like, oh, well, you know who you're hurting. I mean, you're not getting at me because I will win.
Yeah.
I will. And so that's the thing is I'm just caught in this cycle of trying to do all the things. And so it's scattering my brain. But here's what I'm going to. I've done like 3 tours already this week. I'm doing another one right after this. And And because it's later in the day, it's when our guests are back from work and back from school.
Oh, nice.
And so I'm just interacting with them more. And then that orientation we had yesterday was just, I don't know, it's just kind of hit a different level. I think something I always wanted to see, and it's happening, is that there's the one heart culture, but then there's the culture in the towers that the guests have created of an environment that they appreciate and want to protect. And I had a younger man on the street, on our sidewalk, sitting on a bench. I was walking by, and he's only been here for a couple of months, and he said, I just want to say, this is really amazing how respectful everybody is. And so I commented on the staff. He goes, oh, no, like staff are great too. They're all awesome. But I'm talking about like other people like me. Like they actually hold the door for me.
Oh, that's nice.
And I don't think he's just ever been shown that kind of courtesy. And so it just keeps me coming back even when I'm exhausted. So
it's really important work. And that's where I think that, when you were saying earlier, like, if one person leaves for whatever reason and then another one's like, well, I'm going too. It's not just about you. This one heart's so much bigger, and it's a community within a community. And the guests who are here are doing really hard, important work. And so being able to witness that, like the way that you do, it is a beautiful thing, and it is kind of escape in of itself, because it's a reminder of all these hard days and the labor that goes into it. And because for you, being in the seat that you're in as the CEO of such an organization, you have to carry a lot of weight, and it gets really heavy sometimes. And so thank you, because I know that it's challenging, but it's for the good.
Yeah, I mean, it's taken probably 2 decades off my life, but I'm doing it for all these amazing people. So,
and they are the stories that we get to hear, and these people that we get to meet through here. It's life-changing, and it's amazing.
Yeah,
I'm proud. I'm really proud to work here.
Well, let us know how you feel on the cell phone issue.
Yeah.
Please put that in the chat. Hit us up. Yay, nay, banning cell phones in schools. We'd love to hear from you on that one. But I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you for tuning in. We truly appreciate each and every one of you. If you like what you heard, please share it with a friend who you think might enjoy it. And be sure to follow and subscribe to help us grow.
That's right. With your help, we can make a real difference in our community. If our podcast has inspired or moved or entertained you, it would mean a lot to us if you would just take a moment and leave us a 5-star review wherever you listen. Broadening our reach means more ad revenue, which means helping more people escape the unthinkable things they're escaping from on the One Heart campus. You can support our show by becoming a patron at EscapePod.live. You can send your thoughts on future topics to justbecause at EscapePod.live, or you can connect with us with your personal stories of escape at EscapeArtist at EscapePod.live.
So that's a wrap on this episode of the Escape Pod. Remember, trauma may be inevitable, but how you grapple with it is optional. So stay resilient.
And keep the cell phones out of schools. Bye, everybody.
Bye.